So this is Donald Trump and Melania Trump, and they say, Happy Valentine's Day, heart emoji. And apparently this is the best photo that they could find of them at the White House, right? On Valentine's Day, you normally want to have a photo of two people that at least like each other or at least trying to smile. But this is what they got here. They got Trump in his frumpy look and Melania giving him the WTF look on Valentine's Day. That's the official White House photo right there. Now, Melania is not the only one who's giving Trump the WTF look on Valentine's Day. Apparently, the White House sent a letter, a memo, I guess you could call it, to the Republicans saying, no safety for you. This is from the Financial Times. It says Trump leans on Utah Republicans to scrap, right, delete, cancel, get rid of, AI safety bill, right? No AI safety for you, says the White House. Here's what it says. The White House has urged Republican lawmakers in Utah to abandon a bill that would force AI companies, so it would be like Elon Musk, XAI, his stuff, to implement public safety measures, escalating its confrontation with states trying to rein in the technology. Okay. This is what the memo says. Quote, we are categorically opposed to Utah HB 286 and view it as an unfixable bill that goes against the administration's AI agenda, right? So apparently the White House AI agenda, or you could call it Elon Musk's AI agenda, hates safety. Now, if you remember what Elon Musk's agenda is, it's this kind of stuff. You could call it adult mode if you want to call it that, but basically, hey, let's undress people non-consensual, and also, hey, if it's children, no problems, right? That's according to Elon Musk and his people, no safety. And we just talked about in the last video, Elon Musk was, in his opinion, like bragging or flexing or whatever, that his companies don't have any safety teams, as if that's some sort of flex to not have safety teams. Isn't it just whacked out? Even though I may disagree with Republicans and stuff like that on various issues, like this is something that I think the average person should want, again, is AI safety, protection for your kids and other things, right? So, for example, this is who it's coming from. It says Republican Representative Doug Fifia, a former Google employee, okay? They proposed what they're calling the Artificial Intelligence Transparency Act. You got a Republican senator on board, so that's Mike McKell. You got a Republican majority and like a legislative committee in Utah is working on that. The governor is behind it also, right? This is what the governor says. It says Utah's Republican Governor Spencer Cox, quote, the minute you decide to use AI tools to give my kid a sexualized chatbot, and that would be like a direct attack to Elon Musk's chatbot, basically, then it's my business and it's the government business, said at an event last year. Congress should not be stopping us from being able to set guardrails. And so local states, Utah's not the only state that's interested in, regulation, safety, guardrails, these kind of things. Florida's interested in this. California is. It was saying here that there's like 100 such. It says more than 100 AI-related measures have been introduced in Republican-led states. Wow, that's just in Republican-led ones. So then you're going to have a whole bunch of AI measures in Democrat ones as well. I was looking at more details of this stuff because this is stuff that I think it's not just in USA. I think all countries and stuff are going to have to figure out, okay, what kind of regulations do we need on this stuff? This is, new technology. Think of it this way. When the cars first came out, we probably didn't have all the necessary speed limits or signs or traffic lights. And then once people basically start getting killed because it's a new technology and people are driving too fast or recklessly, you're going to need to start regulate that. And that's not just even on the, say, traffic, also regulate the makers. Like, okay, we figured out that you shouldn't use these kind of tires. Don't use that kind of tire. We figured out you shouldn't use that kind of, engine or whatever, right? You get my point on this stuff. So with the AI things, for example, this is the one in Utah. They have $1 million fines for violations, $3 million fines for subsequent violations. The California one has similar language, $1 million fine for violations. And then you have to think about this. Something like Elon Musk, let's say you have a violation of a particular image that's undressing non-consensual, and then it goes viral and gets spread around, et cetera. Think of all the instances. So the way you would enforce this thing, right? It could add up very, very quickly, $1 million per violation. Some of the other stuff they have in the Utah one, and this is good stuff to talk about. You need to have a safety transparency plan. Okay. So what is your child protection laws? You got to tell us what this stuff is, et cetera. What are you doing about like cyber attacks, biological attacks, all kinds of stuff. Whistleblower protections would be a part of the bill. So if you're an insider in one of these AI companies or tech companies or whatever, you need to be protected so you can come out and say, hey, my company's doing X. Any number of things like privacy data is a big deal as well. I think people care about their privacy, or the use of your image. All these things are important. Accountability framework, etc. So basically, though, the Trump people are against, or you could argue Elon Musk is against any sort of regulation on this stuff. It's not just sort of the digital space; it's also the physical space in terms of pollution. These things. Now, this is an interesting thing because the Trump people are in a tight spot here. On the one side, you got to please your big donors like your Elon Musk, right? So then they'll pass and roll back, I guess you could say, not pass the right word, but roll back the best they can any sort of protection for the environment, right? So Trump and all the Republicans, they hate the clean air, they hate clean water, and they just, hey, Elon Musk wants to build data centers and take all your water and air. Wow, fantastic, right? So they're doing that. And then what's interesting, because you're going to get pushback from local people on the ground. So one is AI safety, which we just talked about. Also, what about costs? Because regardless if you're a Republican, just regular people are like, hey, I don't want my electric rates to go up because you got a stupid data center next to me. Now, Navarro just went on TV, and evidently they were talking about should the AI pay for this stuff, not the companies. Trump trade advisor Navarro says administration may force data center builders like Meta to internalize the cost. Interesting. Okay. All of these data center builders, Meta on down, need to pay for all of the costs. Really. They need to not only pay for electricity that they are using on the grid, but they have to pay for the resiliency that they're affecting as well. They need to pay for the water. So there's activity action here going forward where we force them to internalize the cost. Wow. So this is actually pretty interesting. Again, I think it's because they have to juggle their constituencies. They have their voter constituency who care about cost, which understandably so. And then they have their big donor, constituency like Elon Musk, who wants to get rid of any sort of regulation. So this is where we are with the AI.
That's showing a very robust final jump in manufacturing. CPI, as you just reported, look, and this is happening because of tariffs, not in spite of them, as the critics would say, because if there were any tariff inflation, it would show up in the core. It's simply not doing that. So everything is hitting on all major cylinders, and the best is yet to come. I'll tell you, Maria, when Americans get those rebate checks on tax day, that's going to be the biggest rebate and broad-based in American history in 2026, unless, of course, the geopolitics gets in the way. It's shaping up to be beautiful. And one last thing I would say on this. The media's got to take some responsibility here, and the Democrats. To the extent they keep bashing us, irrespective of the data, that's going to drag down confidence. It's like, come on, see the data, speak the data, be real. Trump economy, perfect, best year since '98. Will top that. It's probably one of the best years in modern American economic history. Not hyperbole. That's what the data's telling us.
It's definitely not hyperbole, guys. We are all so rich. Everything's going great. And they kept going on and on about best time since '98, which is strange. I'll say this. The other thing I've been noticing that they really want to roll back to great financial crisis and even go further back. Hey, how about the dot-com bubble? Let's do that. And this is how about roll it all into one, dot-com plus great financial crisis, and we got sort of this AI bubble that we're in right now.
One side recommendation I have is don't worry about squirreling money away for retirement in 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
No.
Okay.
Either we're not going to be here, or
it just you won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, saving for retirement will be irrelevant.
And there's more, which is really interesting. Is Elon Musk involved with this stuff too? Trump's sanctions chief poised to leave after Bessent tension. If you know Scott Bessent, he's the coughing, lying dude over at the Treasury. Evidently, his staff keeps leaving him. I was checking this out. It says this is the latest. John Hurley, the Trump administration's top sanctions official, is set to leave his post after friction with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Okay. And then they were talking about other people left Bessent. I guess everyone's leaving him. His exit would mark the latest shakeup of the senior ranks at the Treasury Department. Bessent's first chief of staff, Dan Katz, left in the fall, and his successor, so the next person, Michael Feldman, left as well. Okay, I count 3 now. Then it says Bessent's top deputy stepped down in August, while the key post of the Undersecretary of International Affairs remains unfilled. So people keep quitting, and they can't find people that want to work with Bessent. This is supposed to be our Treasury. The reason why I was mentioning the Elon Musk stuff here, because I was looking through these things, and they were saying there's going to be some wrangling with France. You remember France recently raided Elon Musk's office, and it says right here, unease with the agency has also grown as U.S. braces for its mutual evaluation report for the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force, where international assessors are expected to flag concerns over the recent scaling back of key anti-money laundering and countering terrorist financing measures. Okay? So you got people leaving the Treasury. They're having disagreements on like how you do sanctions or whatever. And then you also have an upcoming thing happening with France. That's why I mentioned the Elon Musk thing. So who knows what's going on with that? But I'll just say this, like when I read through this stuff, the Trump administration, there's just so many people don't want to be tied with them. And it's obvious when you see them on camera how incompetent these people are. And then the other thing regarding the AI safety things, you're going to start to hear a bunch of these kind of stories to where are people using your, name, image, likeness for whatever means. This was in the Washington Post today. It said, he spent decades perfecting his voice. Now he says Google stole it. And that's coming from NPR David Green. And I guess Google's, using his voice, and people were like texting him and calling him, hey, I think I heard your voice. Did you, sell your voice to Google? This is also in our news here in Korea. I showed you guys this in the last video, but I just want to show you that we're talking about also. There's a couple viral videos going around. You probably saw them already by now, and I showed them to you in the last video, but it's Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. This is all AI generated. And it actually looks pretty realistic, right? There's a bunch of this stuff out there, and they were showing, they're fighting, and who knows, where how the sausage is made and this stuff, but I'm just saying it looks realistic. And then they were also talking about, this is like a fake AI actor thing. And I mean, and it looks pretty realistic, and it's going to get better. So in this example, we're talking about deep fakes or ownership of your name, image, likeness. One interesting proposal, I think this was in Florida, but other states are doing it also, is when you put out AI images into the public, you need to disclose that it is an AI image. Or if your company is using like an AI customer service or chatbot, you have to disclose to the consumer that is AI. Like that's a really important legislation in there, let alone the, hey, are you using my name, image, likeness to produce a bunch of, Elon Musk undressing type of content? For me, I think we should regulate this stuff. I think it's a no-brainer. Even Republicans are on board with this stuff. But again, the White House is putting pressure on states like Utah to not regulate things and to like get rid of your safety bills. Because remember, according to Elon Musk, he hates safety. That's where we are right now. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you all in the next video.